Chapter 2, Political Science textbook, what democracy, why democracy. We already learned what is democracy. Now, next topic is why democracy. In the beginning, when I started my class, I said, now in modern world, democracy is the most preferred form of government. That is the form of government which is accepted by most of the countries. So, now why should this form of government be accepted so widely? There can be good reasons for it. At the same time, there can be reasons that stand against democracy too. Those are the two phases of this form of government. It can be good in one way or the other. At the same time, it can be not good in some other ways, for some other reasons. Now, first let's discuss the arguments against democracy. Why some people say that democracy is not a good form of government. Why democracy is not a good form of government? Why should not it be accepted? The first argument is political instability. Political instability. Okay. Political instability. What do you mean by that? When we learned about the features of democracy, we learned that for a correctly formed democratic form of government, the people should be given freedom to choose their leaders and also change if they don't like them to continue. So, what happens when people want to change their leaders, say for every, that is the common norm is here, is it not? After every 5 years, a new political group of people come to power. Not the same leaders, not the same government will continue. It will keep changing. Using their right to change. They choose different leaders the next time. So, leaders keep on changing every 5 years. If elections are held after every 5 years, leaders keep changing. And what happens then when the new leaders come? They are from or they belong to a different political party whose political views will be different. Their ideas of governing will be different. Their methods of governance or administration will be different. The way they deal with people will also be different. The way they deal with people also will be different. So, what happens there? When leaders keep changing, what happens? There will be political instability. Why leaders keep changing means different political groups come to power. So, that will lead to political instability. The next one is, it said here, no morality. There is no scope for morality. Why? Because always in elections where political groups are involved, different political parties are involved, there will always be competition among themselves for power. And the influential one, the powerful one will come to power and form a government. So, what is the meaning of that? So, there is no space for moral values. Clean members come, only those leaders who have an interest in serving the people correctly will come. Without any selfish thoughts, they will come to power. Nothing of that kind will be considered or can remain in this form of government formed. When there is always change of leaders, there is no scope for morality because of this political competition and power play. Next is causing delays. Before that, let's see a simpler one, wrong decisions. It is not necessary that all the elected leaders keep on associating with the people. They might be a new person there. They have not been there just for winning the elections. The party might have kept him there as kept him in that constituency as the candidate, and he was chosen. He doesn't know what are the conditions of the people, what are the needs of the people, what infrastructure should be or basic facilities are that place needs. Nothing he knows. So what happens when he is given the power? When he is given the power, what happens? There will be wrong decisions taken. So he might not be the only one of that kind. There might be others. So to a larger extent, in a certain way, the decisions taken by the government can go wrong. And also, in a democracy, we said or we learned that it is an elected government. The people rule. When they are electing their representatives whom they would like to rule according to their needs, how they would like them to work for them. Understood? Yes, is it clear? Yes. So, now what happens? These elected leaders, we say they are unaware of the interests of the people. So, that will lead to wrong decisions. At the same time, in the decision making process, all leaders, all the elected representatives have to be consulted, discussed with before any major decision is taken. The chief minister or the prime minister cannot take a decision on his own, on their own. It is a collective responsibility of the cabinet as a whole to get together, which includes elected representatives from different parts of the country, to come together, sit and discuss, debate and consult with each other and reach an appropriate decision at the right time for the people, for the welfare of the people, for the upliftment of the people, betterment of the people, improving the standards of living of the people. That is what should happen. So, since there is too much of consultations and discussions to be done, many to come together, decision making can be delayed. But at the same time, there is a plus point there too. What is the plus point there? The plus point is that because many come together, sit together and talk and try to find a better solution for the problem. Each one will put in their views, they will put in their ideas. So, and when that is being done, somebody else will point out the mistake in a particular idea, in the idea A that has come, in the opinion B that has come, in the interest of the elected representative. Somebody else might think in that way and point out the mistakes. That is how these elected rulers, through consultations and discussions, reach a correct and accurate final decision in the name of the people for them. Is it clear? Yes. So, these are the arguments that is given against democracy. It results in political instability, no morality will exist, decision making is a time taking process and wrong decisions can also be taken. Now, if that is the case, what are the good points of democracy? What are the arguments given for democracy? What are the arguments given for democracy? It is said here, an accountable form of government. Democracy is a more accountable form of government. So, when we say it is a more accountable form of government, we should go back and check how it is for the other forms of government, the military rule, the monarchical rule, the dictatorship. Here we have only one leader. He will rule over. There might be others to help him, but they have no say in the rule of the country. They have nothing to do. They will just sit, obey orders. Only that, their thinking will not come. People will not come into the picture. The leader and his wish will be put forward and decided upon. Is it not? So, there is a difference there. And if democracy is said to be an accountable form of government, how is it? What is it? Now, what do you mean by accountable form of government? It quickly responds to the needs of the people at times of difficulties. It can be a natural disaster, it can be a famine, it can be a flood and also a pandemic as what is going on now. The government, especially our government, has responded quickly and made sure that the people are safe and comfortable. The people who come to their own place are treated well if they need to, is it not? Whether it be the disease or whether they are at home, wherever it is. So, all what is needed for this state to face this difficult situation, decisions were taken, organized correctly, and they responded quickly. It is a need of the people to help people face it. So, they responded quickly. What made them to respond quickly? Because they are elected representatives from among the people. So, they are to work according to the needs and interests of the people, which will not be seen, which cannot be seen in non-democratic forms of government. Why? If the ruler does not wish to help the people, he need not. Nobody can question him. He is not answerable to the people. But here in democracy, elected representatives, they are answerable. They will be questioned if they don't act according to the needs and interests of the people who have chosen them. Next is, it deals with differences and conflicts. What do you mean by that? Deals with differences and conflicts. So, democracy is a form of government which provides methods to deal with these two differences and conflicts. For example, let us take our country, India. In India, in different regions, people belonging to different language people speaking different languages, people belonging to different religions, and having different cultures are living together in one country, in one nation, India, together. Yes? So, what made it possible for that to happen? How could they live so happily? How could they live so peacefully, united as one nation? So, when differences exist, people belonging to different religions, different cultures, their thinking capacities are different, the way they think are different. So, their preferences, their views, opinions, interests keep on changing, is it not? So, one group of people will have a particular kind of interest, or their opinion will be different from the opinion of, say, group B. So, but group A and group B are Indian citizens who have to be considered the same and allowed, given freedom to live together in this country, India. So, their differences of opinion and interests are to be considered in the same way. If it is not done like that, if it is not considered, so what happens? There will be tensions between these people. There will be frustrations in the minds of the people, which will lead to conflicts, which will lead to small clashes, which might become bigger and bigger later on. So that this difference of opinion, difference of interest, demands, etc. should be considered on equal terms. Because it is not sure that anybody will be permanently a winner, somebody will be permanently a loser, is it not? It keeps changing. Who comes to power, who is there, keeps on changing. What will be done also keeps changing according to the situation that comes up. So, democracy, giving equality, because of the presence of equality there, it will consider all these indifferences correctly and try to find a way to accommodate all these people together and keep them united as one, living in one country, India. That is what is meant by deals with differences and conflicts. The next is improves quality of decision making. Okay. Improves quality of decision making. What do you mean by that? I have already explained. Here in democracy, the process of decision making is based on the consultations and discussions that happen with all elected representatives sitting together and reaching a final decision. So, when that is done, the quality of decisions made by the government will be perfect, will be of high quality. There will not be any chances for rash or irresponsible decisions to be taken. Then, The next one is democracy enhances the dignity of citizens. You know the meaning of the word dignity, isn't it? Keep yourself, you feel yourself, you are wanted, you feel that you are to be proud of part of that country or that government. That is the meaning of democracy enhances dignity of citizens, improves the dignity of citizens. What do you mean by that? How is it done? Here also in democracy, all citizens, whether it be an educated person, whether it be a rich person, whether it be a poor person who are socially backward, let it be anybody, but all of them will be considered the same, as there exists social equality, political equality, and also should exist economic equality. Since that is there, the citizens feel themselves wanted in this form of government, where they are also represented, where they are also heard, and where their needs are being identified and solutions found for them. So, here what happens in democracy, people are not subjects of any ruler, but they are the rulers themselves. They are not subjects of any rulers. They don't become a part of any ruling system, but they are the rulers themselves, thus enhancing the dignity of citizens. The next one is correction of mistakes. So, whether it be a democracy or any other form of government, there is no guarantee that the leaders who become the government or who form the government will not make any mistakes. This can keep happening, will not make mistakes. So, mistakes can happen in any form of government, but the advantage in democracy is that the mistakes that these leaders make cannot be hidden for long. It cannot be hidden for long, and also there is space for discussion on these mistakes, and if the leaders are willing, they can change their decisions and correct themselves, or the people in the next election will surely change their rulers. That is what is meant by correction of mistakes. There is always space, there is always chances for these rulers to correct themselves and come back and do what is needed by the people. So, there is space for public discussion on these mistakes and room for correction. So, the readers can change their mistakes or correct their mistakes, or the people will change them. So, now what have we learned? Even though there are many negative aspects for this form of government, it's the numerous positive aspects overrules all these negativeness, and hence we can say that this form of government, democracy, rule of the people, is the best form of government, or is the most, now still we don't know, there are things which we should learn again. So, this is the most preferable form of government. Is it clear? Any doubts? No. Okay.